his stakes on a certain card. Silvio took the chalk and marked down what was due to him. The officer, convinced that there was a mistake, made some objections. Silvio, still mute, went on dealing as if he had not heard. The officer, out of patience by that time, took the brush and wiped off the figures. Silvio picked up the chalk and wrote them down again. At this, the officer, excited by the wine, by the play, and by the laughter of his comrades, and thinking he had been insulted, took up a brass candlestick and hurled it at Silvio, who, by bending aside, averted the blow. Great was the uproar. Silvio rose, pale with rage, and with eyes blazing. "My dear sir," he said, "you will please leave this room, and be thankful that this has happened in my house." Not one of us doubted the outcome of this affair, and we all looked upon our new comrade as a dead man. The officer went out, saying that he was ready to meet the banker just as soon as it was convenient. The game proceeded a few minutes longer, but it was evident that the master of the house was not paying much attention to what was going on. We all left one by one and returned to our quarters, discussing the while the vacancy in our ranks which was sure to take place. Next morning, while at riding exercise, we all wondered if the poor lieutenant were dead or alive, when, to our surprise, he appeared among us. We plied him with questions, and he answered that he had had no challenge from Silvio, which caused us all much surprise. We called on Silvio, and found him in his yard, firing bullet after bullet at an ace nailed to the door. He received us in his usual manner, never mentioning the scene of the night before. 3 days went by, and the lieutenant was still alive. We kept saying to each other, "Will Silvio not fight?" amazed at such a thing. But Silvio did not fight. He simply gave a very lame explanation, and that was all that was said about the matter. This forbearance on his part did him much harm among us young men. Youth never quite forgives a want of courage, for to youth fearlessness is the greatest quality one can possess, and it excuses many faults. Still, after a while all this was forgotten, and by degrees Silvio regained his old ascendancy over us. I alone could never feel the same towards him. Being of a romantic turn of mind, I had loved this man whose life was an enigma to us all, more than anyone else, and I had made him, in my thoughts, the hero of some mysterious drama. And he liked me, of this I felt sure, for when we were alone, dropping his sharp and sarcastic speeches, he would converse on all sorts of subjects, and unbend to me in a fascinating manner. Ever since that unlucky evening of which I have spoken, the fact that he had been insulted and had not wiped out the offence in blood worried me to such an extent that I never could feel at ease with him as in the days gone by. I even avoided looking at him, and Silvio was too clever and quick not to notice it, and to guess at the reason. He seemed to me to feel it deeply. On 2 occasions, I thought I had detected a wish on his part to explain matters, but I avoided him, and he did not pursue me. Those happy mortals who live in cities where there is so much to see and to do can never imagine how important certain small happenings can become in an out-of-the-way village or town. One of these is the arrival of the mail. On Tuesdays and Fridays, the officers of our regiment were besieged with men. One expected money, another a letter, and again others looked for newspapers. As a rule, everything was opened and read on the spot. News was given, and the improvised post office was full of animation. Silvio's letters were addressed to the care of our regiment, and he called for them with us. One day, a letter was handed to him, the seal of which he broke hurriedly. While reading it, his eyes flashed with suppressed excitement. None of the officers except myself noticed this, as they were all busy reading their own letters. "Gentlemen," said Silvio, "business compels me to leave town immediately. I must go tonight. I hope none of you will refuse to dine with me for the last time. I shall expect you," said he, turning to me pointedly. "I hope you will not disappoint me."